What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode, and today we are talking about the best cars to buy under 15K, part 2, right? If you was already in tune to what we got going on, you would have known that the previous video we dropped was part 1, okay? And a lot of y'all actually rock with that video, which is cool. So this list is more of the same, but just giving you a more broad variation of different cars that you could actually jump into that's still going to be under 15K, that are still relatively good cars. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Bring it in. What's good, y'all? So before we get into this video, you already know. If you don't know, though, when you're new here, definitely check out the link in my description, lowexcelsapparel.com. It's also linked to the YouTube as well. You can get all your merch there, all your clothes there. It's really cold outside, so you definitely want to get you a little hoodie. You want to get you a little sweatsuit, whatever the case may be, a little beanie. You feel me? Just to be warm in this cold weather, right? Support yourself, support the channel, get what you like, get what you want, and look good while you're doing it, okay? But without further ado, let's get into this video though. Number 1, that would be a 2014 to 2018 Volkswagen Jetta GLI. This came equipped with a 2-liter inline-4, 210 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, what we talking? 6.1 seconds. So I feel like the Volkswagen community as a whole would definitely come for me if I didn't actually put this car on the list, right? This is similar to a GTI, but with 4 doors in a sedan version. The GLI is actually not that bad of a car. It actually has average reliability. I'm not mad for anybody in the market to get one of these. It definitely does have tuning potential, and it doesn't look too bad, okay? Yes, it's a Volkswagen. Y'all know how I feel about Volkswagens. If y'all don't, I've had many, and recently my last issue with a Volkswagen caused me to really not look in their direction ever again going forward. But as far as older Volkswagens, when things was actually good, I'm not too against that, okay? But this is kind of one of those that kind of fits in that little gray area of where you can purchase a Volkswagen and it actually be relatively reliable, not the best, not the worst, but good enough for you to actually do something with and have fun. Issues that you would run into with this car is electrical issues, transmission issues, ignition system, and carbon buildup. Yeah, I heard something where when it comes to the carbon buildup, you could put like walnuts in the engine or something along those lines. Something crazy, y'all get in the comment section below. Let me know what that is or if it's even real. I believe it is real, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, somebody literally said, put walnuts in your engine and flush this. Like, I don't know. It don't make no sense. It sounds ridiculously crazy, but y'all probably know better than me. So let me know about that. But yeah, that's the first car on this list. I'm not mad at it. Again, there's better cars on this list, but if you in the market for a Volkswagen GLI, go ahead and grab it. But let's move on. Number 2. This kind of a rare one, y'all. Y'all really don't know about this. This goes under the radar a lot. And that would be a 2014 to 2018 Kia Cadenza. This came equipped with a 3.3-liter V6, 293 horsepower, 255 pound-feet of torque. But then in 2017, it actually got power reduced, which doesn't happen often. Went down to 290 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Fun fact, y'all, I was gonna actually purchase this vehicle before I got my Jeep. I ended up choosing my Jeep over this. If I could go back, would I change it? Possibly, right? But the Jeep has still done its thing. This car is pretty much a Nissan Maxima when you think about it. It's a full-size luxury sedan that can compete with Lexus. It can compete with higher trim versions of cars. It's just this car went under the radar because as far as specs go and what it could offer, it really wasn't competing evenly with its competitors. Its competitors had more power, they were quicker, they were a little more luxurious, but not even really more luxurious. They just had a bigger brand name that backed them up. So when Kia came to compete with them, it was like, well, yeah, you little homie. We don't really trust you. We trust them. So now with that being said, and you're not as quick as them neither, people were skipping out on this car. But I am here to tell y'all, this car was not a bad car by any means. It was actually better than a lot of people give it credit for. You have a lot of people who own this car who say it's the best car they've ever owned. It has a lot of features. When I actually test drove it, it surprised me with the features that it had. You know, big panoramic roof and lane assist, lane departure, and, you know, heated and cool seats, like stuff like that that you really wouldn't expect from a car like this in this price point. You can get these all day under 15K, so definitely check out for that. When it comes to reliability, like I mentioned, these are average to above average. A lot of people have had a lot of success with these, but if it was up to me, I would say grab a 2016 or up. You really shouldn't have any issues, but if you do run into some issues, what you will see, the brake vacuum hose usually has some issues. You want to check out the ABS system, the coolant temperature sensor, and just electrical issues overall. But mind you, these are just issues that could potentially go wrong, not saying that they all go wrong all at the same time. And 2014, mind you, was the least reliable out of all of these years. So if you could avoid the 14, possibly a 15, and get anything beyond 16, I believe you're going to have a great car in your hands. Again, it looks good, especially when they changed the body style. Although it lost a few horsepower, it still looks way better than it used to, and it's just really a clean car all around, y'all. So I would definitely recommend that. So if y'all ain't know about that, get in the comment section. Let me know you ain't know about that, because a lot of people sleep on this. But I digress. Let's move on. Number 3, we was just talking about this car. That would be a 2016 or 2018 Nissan Maxima Platinum. This came equipped with a 3.5 liter V6, 300 horsepower, 261 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, what we talking? 5.7 seconds. So if you're new here, just know Maximas and me, we go together, okay? Everybody in my family that had a Maxima, I love Maximas. I tell y'all this daily, and I really want to drill it in y'all head so y'all understand. No diddy. But I love the Maxima. This Maxima in particular is actually a really good car. A lot of people have success with this car and very, very minor issues. But the biggest Achilles heel for this car is the transmission. And it's not because it's super faulty. It's just because it's a CVT. And CVT transmissions are constant variable transmissions that pretty much put economy friendly purposes before sport purposes. So it makes it where cars are not as aggressive and they don't sound as good burning through gears as they usually do with a regular automatic transmission, right? So that's the only issue that could be a problem here if you don't like CVTs. But I will say, I also do own an Altima with the newer CVT transmission that they have. I have never had any issues with it. I had it since 0 miles. I bought it brand new. It has over 120,000 miles on it, and I just keep up with it. So I'm always going to tell y'all to do the same thing. If y'all keep up and have preventive maintenance for anything that revolves around your car, you can definitely extend the lifespan of it and definitely avoid issues going forward, right? But if you can't have that and you're not purchasing a car brand new, then like I always tell you again, make sure you know who you getting it from, and make sure you know what work they did and they didn't do, so you can understand and know what you may need to do next or may not need to do at all, right? But keep that in mind. When it comes to reliability in this car, like I mentioned, it's actually above average. So this is definitely going to be a reliable car that you can jump in. It looks good. It actually sounds good too, believe it or not, y'all. The exhaust note on this car is deep. It's going to be surprising. You start that car up. I'm like, dang, you get a little rumble in here from a Maxima, right? Who would have known? This car just has a premium feel about it. It makes you feel as though you spent way more money than you actually did. And they hold their value, I would say, better than you would expect. But the thing is, most of them that you purchase have a lot of miles on them because people burn through miles on these cars. They drive them a lot. So that's a good sign. Issues that you may run into: transmission issues, like I mentioned before. They actually had an ABS recall, so make sure that was addressed, and just electrical issues overall. So you already know when you come to these big sedans, they have a lot of moving parts. Electrical issues is always going to be a problem, possibly. Some cars more than others. This one, I wouldn't say so, but still, it's up in the air. So just make sure you can plan for that. Put some bread aside just in case. But once again, this is going to be above average reliability car. It's a great car to jump into. It look good. It sound good. It's definitely going to be a great option, especially under 15K. But let's move on. Number 4, that would be a 2014 and 2017 Honda Accord V6 EXL. This came equipped with a 3.5 liter V6, 278 horsepower, 252 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, what we talking? 5.5 seconds. So this is actually a little quicker than the Maxima, and it's a Honda. Reliability, very good. Very good reliability. It's a Honda. You know what comes with that. Me personally, y'all, I actually like this body style more than the one that came after it. But then more and more people started copying them, and then it grew on me, and I'm like, maybe I would do like the 2-liter turbo, especially when you seen what it was doing, right? But before I even knew what that 2-liter turbo could do, I was looking at this like, yo, they went backwards. This is the one you want. This Honda Accord right here is official. It looked good. It's pretty big inside. Like, you got all the space in the world. I'm sure I probably have somebody that's watching this video that owns that car, and they could vouch for me. The car is very big inside, bigger than you would actually expect. It has all the space. It has modern tech, not the most advanced tech, but it definitely has decent tech. It's a Honda, so once again, you don't got to worry about reliability. And if you get like the sport package with the bigger wheels, it really looked like it came modified from the factory. But if you definitely want to spend some money into it, you can still do that, and it's still going to look great regardless. So this is definitely an attractive car, definitely from what they used to do. Previously, before they came out with this one, they wasn't on a roll, but then they got on a roll after this one. So I definitely like this car. It's always going to be a great option, especially when you're talking about cars under 15K. But once again, you want the EXL V6, because this one is the one with the power that is going to move, be quick, light on its feet, and still give you everything you need, including reliability. So that's going to be a great option for you. But when you do run into issues, they would consist of very premature brake wear, timing belt issues, and electrical issues. Once again, these things are very rare, but they are possible to come up. So make sure you check who you got it from. Like I mentioned always, make sure they did what they did. And if they didn't do what they did, you make sure they do what they supposed to do. And if they don't do that, then don't get the car. You feel me? But yeah, make sure you on them. Make sure you get that address. But let's move on. Number 5, that would be a 2018 to 2020 Mazda 6 Grand Touring Reserve. This came equipped with a 2.5 liter inline 4, 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, what we talking? 6.7 seconds. This car, y'all, I felt as though I needed to include it. I could have put it a little higher on the list to start off with, because it really can't compete with the Hondas pound for pound, but at least as far as speed goes. But this is definitely a great car to jump into. It has a decent look. If you like Mazdas, you're gonna love it. You could definitely mod this and make it look way better than what it looks. Tuning capabilities is possible as well. The range of tuning may not be the biggest, but you can still definitely get a little more power out of this and make it quicker. It's going to have all the interior features that you need pretty much, and it's still going to be a more premium version of this car, because they make basic versions of this. So this is going to be more of the premium version that you're going to want to jump in, that's going to have the things that you want and that you need. One thing that I did see about this car that I didn't see about any other car that I've covered so far, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I've been looking at this the wrong way, but they had mentioned on regular gas you only get 227 horsepower, but if you continue to fill it up with premium, that's when you get the full 250. So if that's true, y'all let me know, get in the comment section below. But as far as what I've seen, that's what they've been mentioning, which is weird, but it's also beneficial in the same sense, because a lot of cars that take premium only take premium and then they're gonna act up if you don't put that in them. But it's rare that cars take both but lose power but still can maintain it without damaging the engine. So if that is something that they do, I do think that is pretty much really innovative on their part to definitely do that, to make it make sense so people could save money if they wanted to. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong about that. But like I said, y'all get in the comment section below, let me know if I am wrong or if I'm right, but that's what I read up on. When it comes to reliability, like I mentioned before, this is average to above average reliability. Issues that you may run into is cooling fan module going out, and just very few electrical issues as well. So really no main issues at all with this car. A lot of people that owned it, they own it for years and years. They say they're not getting rid of it. They're gonna drop it until the wheels fall off because they just love it. I feel like Mazda has a community of people who definitely appreciate the brand more than a lot of other brands, and when they jump into Mazda, they stuck with Mazda. So that should show you that at least that brand has recognition with its consumers, and they respect and appreciate the brand more than the average to actually vouch by that car. So that's a good sign right there alone. So if you jump in one of these, you're gonna have a community that you can communicate with. If you do run into issues with this car, people will definitely lend a helping hand and lend some advice to you because they love it and they keeping it. So they just trying to figure out the ins and outs of it. So you shouldn't have an issue there. So that's my list, y'all. The top 5 best cars to buy under 15K. But you already know how I do. I always got to drop a bonus on you. And the bonus of the day would be, it's a very rare one, y'all. Y'all know what it mean when I say that. This is a rare one. A 2017 to 2020 Lincoln MKZ Reserve all-wheel drive. This came equipped with a 3-liter V6, 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, what we talking? 5.2 seconds. So 5.2, it may not be the super fastest car ever, but you got to understand what you lugging around. Look at the interior of this. The exterior is very nice as well. So, fun fact, one of the cars that made this channel go viral, which was the Lincoln Continental, that I had to put y'all on the black label, this has the same engine as that. The only difference is the Continental is a little bigger, this is a little smaller, and this is usually a little cheaper as well when you get the top trim of this comparison to the top trim of that. But this is still a great car. You would definitely want to jump into one of these if you find them. They are very rare, but not the most rarest car, but they definitely still rare. The thing is, you may run into this car or come across it and just not know that's what it was, right? So they have different variations of this car. So because of that, they just kind of fall under the radar. This is one of those cars you might just go to the dealership and just drive in and be like, yo, I don't know what that is, but I want it, just because of what you feel when you actually get behind the wheel of this. But this is definitely a great car to jump into. It looks good. It looks premium. It's a very luxurious car. Definitely luxury over sport, but this one in particular is a perfect blend. You get 50-50 with this, and it's probably, I would assume it's going to be a little more sporty than the Continental, of course, because the Continental is just slightly bigger. This is going to be a little smaller. So this car is just going to do what you need it to do, and it's definitely going to look good while it's doing it. So once again, reliability is above average. Some people do mention, though, when they try to tune this car is when issues can arise. So it is tunable. You can get more power out of this, but you just got to be careful. Make sure you got money aside just in case things do go wrong, because these engines are not the most tunable, but they are tunable all the same. If you keep this car stock, you're really not going to have many issues at all. So keep that in mind. But if you do have issues, one of the biggest things you'll run into is the power steering leaks, right? So a different amount of leaks under the car and just electrical issues. So you address those things, you should be good. This car is going to be great for you. It's going to look good. It's going to sound good. And like I said before, it is tunable, but you just got to make sure you're doing exactly what you need to do as far as the tuning capabilities of this car, because it's not the most tunable engine to work on. So definitely jump in the forum, see what a lot of people are doing to these cars once you do purchase one, because I know somebody is. And make sure everything is on point, make sure everything look good. But that's the list, y'all. If it was up to me, what would I jump in? I'm sure you know. Well, maybe you don't. But this may be the only time I have to choose against my Maxima, and I'm probably going to jump in that Lincoln MKZ. But if I didn't do that, I got to jump in my Maxima. But if I didn't do that, I'm jumping in that cadenza. I might just jump in that cadenza and be a little different. But shout out to the Honda too. But this list is definitely a well-balanced list. You really can't go wrong with none of these cars. Maybe the GLI, possibly, and it's the slowest on the list. But other than that, you really can't go too wrong with none of these cars. They're all great cars for the most part, and they're going to do what you need them to do, and they're probably going to surprise you because you don't expect these cars to do what they do at the level that they do them. So if you're in the market for cars under 15K, definitely check this list out, or definitely check these cars out in person. Pull up on them, tell them I sent you. It might not hold no weight yet, but it's coming. But also, you already know, if you're looking to tune or mod your car, jump in the link in my description, get whatever you need. Any tools that you need to work on your car, I got them for you for the low. A whole bunch of discounts. Definitely check the link in my description and get you right. Of course, make sure you cop the clothing, and make sure you just support the channel and support yourself. Do what you need to do to look good, sound good, whatever. If y'all like this video, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and just like that, I'm out of here. Peace.